Hey guys, how are we doing? Crypto Insight UK here, bringing you back another video. So I've noticed a few things in the last day or so, and I want to get them out to you guys in this video. So we're going to do some TA in a minute, but first I just want to cover like a few of like the events that are going on at the minute. You guys might or might not know that there's a whale that's shorting Bitcoin with massive size, $500 million now on a 40x, and the liquidation price keeps changing, but essentially it's just a big whale coming through and shorting on hyperliquid, and people are saying, is it an insider because he did it before Trump announced the Bitcoin strategic reserve and and what happened with altcoins. So obviously we've got to monitor this. This has happened, it's been going on for like a day or two now, but the actual size of the position increased just this morning. 7:02 a.m. my time, and it's now 11 a.m. my time. So that's something to watch. That's something to watch as fear and greed stays in 25, which is obviously fear, last week being extreme fear, and the last month being fear in general. And the best risk to reward fear and greed, in my opinion, that we've seen definitely this cycle, unless we've entered a bear, which is not my base case. But if you look on the right hand side of your screen here, we literally got as low as 15. Even when Bitcoin was at 50-ish thousand, we didn't get as low as 15. And when Bitcoin was at its absolute lows, or near its lows, not absolute lows, but near its lows at the 26,000 range before we started our proper ascension so far this cycle, Bitcoin only got down to 30. I mean, crypto only got down to 32 on the Fear and Greed Index. So another thing to take into consideration. Finally, the trend is continuing of companies accumulating Bitcoin and crypto, building on what we wrote about in the newsletter last week. Go and check that out, with the investments into Binance in the UAE. Metaplanet is a company in Japan who are following a similar structure to MicroStrategy, who you guys know Michael Saylor is the CEO of, and they're accumulating Bitcoin. The more companies that do this and just accumulating it for the long term for their balance sheet, the less supply there is out there for everyone to buy. And at some point, this will play a critical part, in my opinion, of what might be an explosive leg up. We talked about this yesterday, but let's just check in on the liquidity pools. Yes, we do have some short-term liquidity here. This is people longing, in my opinion, trying to get rid of the person in the leverage position. Genuinely, that's what I believe this yellow line is. It only started yesterday afternoon on the 17th, so it's just people trying to get him liquidated, in my opinion. However, the big liquidity still sits above us, and that is where I think we go. Whether we get the wick down and flush this out at 75k, I really don't know. It's one of those positions. I think if we start to liquidate the person with the extreme leverage short on, these will probably start to close up, to be honest. I noticed something interesting about XRP. I'm going to get into that in 1 second. I don't know what's just happened on my laptop screen there. I hope that's not okay. Let's not go back on trading view because it looks like my laptop is having a bit of a struggle. But we'll just keep looking at Velo for now. So look, what we can see on Velo is premium is heavily negative today, and funding is also heavily negative today so far. We're going to just go onto the hourly time frame because I want to show you something here. I noticed something just as I was looking at before I started making this video. So this last bit of price action, we've seen a rise in open interest as price has fallen, and a massive increase in funding rate and to the negative side and premium. This suggests to me that this push down here was solely driven by open interest. So if we start to reverse, let's say back above the 230, maybe where the stop losses could be at the 237, we might see this get flushed out as a short squeeze occurs, as we spoke about yesterday. But this is even in the more shorter term time frame. So let's keep our eye on that to see if that does happen. I didn't check if it was actually the same on Bitcoin, so let's have a look right now. Bitcoin seems to be a little bit different. Bitcoin seems to have had a little bit of a flush down in open interest. We're getting that short squeeze potentially here for Bitcoin. So it looks a little different. As I said, this looks heavily manipulated at the minute, and it is heavily manipulated by people playing both sides of that trade, with the whale trying to short the price and then people trying to defend it and get their whale liquidated. It's quite funny to watch realistically. But definitely looking at XRP here, things look different. XRP looks to me like it's charging up for its next leg. Whether we do get continued downside and wick down to the lows, I don't know. I don't know. It depends on the macro. And in the macro, one thing actually I forgot to mention at the start of this video is that we have FOMC tomorrow, where we're going to see the Fed talking about whatever they're going to do with monetary policy in the next few weeks. And I think that that's one other thing that's getting people a bit worried, and why you could see some choppy price action both today and tomorrow as people try and posture and position for what the Fed may or may not say in their meeting tomorrow. I was going to finish on that chart that I just showed you there with XRP ETH. So yeah, just looking at Bitcoin, nothing's really changed. We've been looking on the 3-day time frame. I think it's really one to watch at the minute. We're waiting for that bullish cross to come through on the RSI, the standard RSI, because last time we got the bullish cross on the standard RSI it was a green light to say, look, the next leg's starting. Similar with XRP, we're so close. If we have a green 3-day, like 3 days, like, so we've got 1 hour, 1 day and 17 hours. Sorry, my words aren't coming out today. 1 day and 17 hours to turn green here. We should get this bullish cross confirmation on the 3-day RSI. And that was, the last time we saw something like that was here, which was, we were at 50 cent, and we rallied realistically to the immediate high of 290, but then continued to 334. So definitely keep your eye on the 3-day time frame for XRP. And if you haven't got TradingView Pro, you can actually use CoinTrader Pro for this. My laptop's going mad right now. So I said I'd noticed something, and these charts are nowhere near as aesthetically pleasing as my setup on TradingView, because I haven't really experimented it. And I only noticed this last night. We've been covering ETH versus XRP, or XRP versus ETH, a lot on my channel. I've said it's been the precursor to most legs up so far. You'll notice this pattern here. Let me just get this drawn across. That's what we're talking about, and this has been the base, and I've talked about this being Wyckoff accumulation with a creek and a spring, so like a secondary rally, and then we basically chopped around in Wyckoff accumulation. We've pushed out in the sign of strength phase here, so that's what we've been monitoring. But what I've noticed is we actually have a lot more historical price action here on CoinTrader Pro. So to the highs that we have on TradingView is about here. It's about a 200% move, I think, ish. Yeah, 200% move. Yet to the highs on CoinTrader Pro, to the absolute highs, it's 1,000% move, which makes me think maybe we continue higher than I thought. I haven't done any TA on this, so I'm literally just looking at this with you guys right now. Looks to me like we get a good break here, and the upside is larger than I just spat on my mic. That's actually so grim. And the upside is larger than I thought. So I'm going to be breaking this down over the next few days. I'm going to have a proper deep dive into it, because I was thinking yesterday when I was in the sauna after my gym session, I was thinking, is there more historical data on the XRP Ethereum chart? Where could I find that? And I have actually found it now. And what I was wondering is, essentially, what I was thinking about is this time period here. Obviously, I wasn't looking at the charts. I was just thinking, because I was going there using my thinking time. I was thinking, in this period here is where the SEC lawsuit came in. Would this have been a sensible place for a reversal? And might we have gone to set a higher high against Ethereum? You could argue yes, because obviously what you would have seen then is price coming down, setting a low, setting a high, and then consolidating potentially to go for the highs. But realistically, what we've then done is come down to the lows, accumulate the lows, sweep the lows, or just double tap essentially the lows here, sweep the liquidity that we've been creating in this area, bounced on a higher low, and then started to push off. This structure looks much more bullish than if we went for a high here. I actually think that we could go and start to set a new all-time high against ETH, higher than I thought initially, and potentially setting the foundation for us never to come as low against Ethereum ever again. Okay? So I'm going to leave you with that thought process. Going to do some more TA on it, and you'll probably see over on X, I'll be releasing some TA on this over the next few days or so. When I've really broken it down, I'm going to have a long look at it. It might be a week or two. I want to have a good think about it, and I want to think about what potentially this means with this extra data that I found. So I think it means we've at least got a 10x upside against ETH to come in this cycle, just to test range highs, essentially. And I do think we break out higher than previous cycles against ETH in this cycle. So let's see. Will I be right? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Please do subscribe if you enjoyed the video and share it with a friend. Hit the like button. It's free to do. And yeah, hope you have a great day. Peace up, A-Town down, as Crypto Insight UK would say.